What's up and welcome back to the channel. The name is Ninja Knight. Make sure you like, share, subscribe and hit the notification bell up above for future uploads and check out the links posted down below. Thank you. So here I have a post from Jason Momoa, and I know what you're thinking. You're saying to yourself, that's not Jason Momoa. No, this is absolutely some sort of lunatic called Michael Rappaport. I don't know who this individual is whatsoever. I've seen the name floating around a couple of times on Twitter. I've seen a couple of videos that have involved this guy just having auto-played. But this guy, I mean, you can tell from the picture itself, this guy has lost all of his marbles. He is completely unstable. I mean, this man is quite old to be behaving the way he is. What is he, in his 60s or something like that, from the way he looks, and he's behaving like this? I mean, what a screen grab screenshot to be catching on this individual. That is clearly an individual of sound mind. So anyway, the video is not going to focus on this lunatic. It's going to focus on Jason Momoa here, who I'm going to talk about, because this is the individual I have interest in terms of what's going on with the comic book industry and comic book movies and stuff like that, and how this is going to hurt things going forward, particularly for him and the movies with which he's employed within. So he says, let's make this easy. Bahahaha, mahalo, Michael Rappaport. Please unfollow me. Let's make it easy. So I was saying to myself, well, maybe he's saying what this individual is up to and saying, well, I'm not going to have you follow me, Michael, because you're an absolute loon. But no, he moves on and says this: I am completely against Trump. That's fine. You're entitled to your political belief, and you're entitled to whoever you want. You're entitled to whoever you want to support. That's fair enough. But then he goes on and he takes another bite at the cherry and he says, if you like this monster, we have nothing in common. Please unfollow me now. Aloha Jay, bahahaha. So a very strange statement within itself, and I mean, it doesn't seem like these individuals are taking anything very well whatsoever, and I mean, it's been pretty much so the gaslighting and the hypocrisy from these type of individuals over the last number of years, that they're all saying one thing and then doing another. It's incredible stuff in terms of anybody with a rational brain and a rational mind looks at these people and say to themselves, what is going on? What is with these people? And people then are buying into what these individuals are saying and doing. It's starting, and it is the lack of intelligence that's been shown by certain individuals. I mean, this is just as an aside, these are two individuals that are talking about dignity and morality and democracy and bring it in for that unity and healing, and then they're behaving like this. Now, forget about this guy for a moment. We'll talk about this guy. You're talking about unity and healing, and this is what your side of the spectrum are all talking about over the last couple of weeks and months and all of this nonsense. But then you're going and doing this. That's not very unifying of you. That's not very healing of you, is it? Instead, you're saying to an awful lot of fans, and seriously, there are an awful lot of people out there that do support this stuff, and you're going to find out that they see this video, they see this post, and they're going to say to themselves, yeah, I'm going to walk away from it now. I've no interest in it. I mean, look, Jason Momoa has been very clear over the last couple of years that he got really his break when he was in his 40s, or close to 40s. He was in Conan, that was an absolute failure. He's been in pretty much nothing beforehand. And then he got the part of Aquaman graciously from Zack Snyder, and then did very well from that, and has seemingly gotten a decent following on it. He did very well, I suppose, within Game of Thrones, speaking as the character Khal Drogo in a different accent and a different language, I suppose, and then was eventually taken out then by Daenerys Targaryen. So anybody that's been watching Game of Thrones as well too has seen some of the reactions from this individual in which he was acting uncontrollably within a tantrum watching the finale of Game of Thrones, which is a very strange thing to see in itself, because he's a grown man acting like that, which is an odd one in itself. But however, we move on, and it says, if you like this monster, we have nothing in common. Please unfollow me now. Aloha Jay. Bah. Now again, this is the side as well too that are calling for unity and healing, and he's behaving like this. You're telling this a serious amount of individuals, not only, by the way, just so you understand, not only in America, that to have nothing to do with you, but all over the world, because there are an awful lot of people all over the world that actually think opposite to you and actually would say, no, actually, we're for this guy. And these, by the way, Jason, because you're in promotions, you're in what's supposed to be an entertainment industry that's supposed to bring everybody in, and of whatever faith, whatever creed, whatever gender, both of them, and whatever race. That's your idea as a promoter. As your job, you are there to promote this work. You are supposed to bring everybody in the door. You are supposed to bring everybody into the seats. You're supposed to bring everybody onto these streaming services that you're going to be on now. You know that there's a Zack Snyder Justice League coming up very soon. And effectively what you're going to do now is you're going to torpedo sales for that. You're going to torpedo sales for the likes of HBO Max. You're going to have a massive issue going forward because people have gotten sick of this type of nonsense from these individuals, these blue checkmark individuals, and they're saying, I'm checking out now, I'm just not going to purchase that. What's the ramifications for this? Well, you already have Aquaman 2 that's on very unsteady ground and in shaky waters, I should say, excuse the pun, or in choppy waters, I should say, excuse the pun, because you already have a female lead there that has completely turned an awful lot of people against her. And people would just outright not support the movie on her alone. Now, curiously enough as well too, Jason, you didn't come out and say anything about her or her behaviour that was outed in the court of law. And you have then gone and sort of half-heartedly then said to Ray Fisher, well, I support you in your cause, bro. And then Ray Fisher's released a statement and you've said absolutely nothing about that. So in terms of loyalty and morality, you might want to look in the mirror about that one, Dale, because you're certainly not somebody that you could call upon, especially if you're supposed to be some sort of friend. Because whatever you think about Ray Fisher, and I do think Ray Fisher was probably wrong in what he's thinking and what he's doing, but you've certainly left him by the wayside and you've had no interest in backing him up or anything like that whatsoever, because you're not putting the head above the parapet, because you also understand that you're in your 40s now, mate, and you understand that the opportunities at big supposing industries and big companies is probably going to be quite low as you move on, because you are a typecast type of individual. You can play one role, you can play it quite well, and it's not really too hard to do. But that's where we're at now at the moment. We're at this type of nonsense with individuals making comments like this, not understanding that he's in the promotion game. Whatever he thinks personally, that's absolutely fine. And like I said, I'm very much so an advocate of everybody being free speech and saying what they say and saying what they like. But when you're in this industry and then you're going to look around and say, well, where did all the fans go? Why aren't they buying my merchandise? Why is the Aquaman hot toy, or why is the Aquaman 6-inch figure not selling? Because people are not buying it now because you've told an awful lot of people to go away. And that's the bare bones of it. And that's what companies are going to have to rein in, I think. I think what the company have done with Ray Fisher in particular have really sent a stark message across of Hollywood. And Hollywood haven't realised it yet. They haven't seen. These actors and actresses haven't seen what's been done. And I think that they're going to get the message very quickly, in that Hollywood's going to say, right, cut it out if they want to survive. Because the thing is that nobody cares about your politics. Nobody cares about your views. They just want to see you portray a character on a screen and just be an adult pretender. That is it. That is legitimately it, and that's all people want to see. If you think about this and think to yourself privately these things, that's fine. That's no problem whatsoever. But then when you go out and you're going to act in the course of promotions, I think it's a very stupid thing to do. It doesn't take someone with a very high IQ to understand this. And I mean, this guy is probably a very low IQ. Both of the guys, I suppose, are very lukewarm IQs, and then they're going to be curious as to why people are not purchasing these things, why they're not joining in. This is coming at a very bad time, and this is coming at a time as well that allegedly our friend, and I would say allegedly our friend because you've left him out to sink on his own there in the deep blue sea, because you've offered no support to him whatsoever. This is a time now where your alleged friend is coming out and absolutely roasting the main man Walter Hamada out of it. This is the same time that Zack Snyder is coming out and he's playing the game, he's playing it well, and he's saying, look, I'm delighted to have it going forward, and if I can get more out of this is great. I'm not going to comment on it now. These are the type of comments that are going to make the company turn around and look and go, what did you say? I'm not going to greenlight anything to do with you anymore. Is that good going forward? Yeah, because it just cuts down the options of needless movies that we're going to go and see. I mean, you have Henry Cavill that acts accordingly, you have Ben Affleck that acts accordingly, and they're going to get on. They're going to get more opportunities because they know how to behave. They don't come out and say anything stupid like this. And to me, that is the best way to go about it, because like I said, and bringing it back to the original point, you were in promotions. Your job is to include everybody, no matter what you think of them, no matter what their political affiliation, no matter what their race, no matter what their creed, no matter which gender they are. Your job is promotions. Your job is to get bums in seats. If you want to run for some sort of office and then gain political power and jump into political reigns, do so. But don't go posting stuff like this stupidly, and then in 6 months' time when stuff goes to pot and people don't turn up, you're going to say, well, what happened? Well, you've had the main company that have signed up people in an organisation that has 3 letters that's been causing uproar in America. You have had your friend, alleged friend, because I don't think he'd see you as a friend now because you haven't said anything for him in that sort of way, has tried to cancel the Walter Hamada fella, and then you've come out and post this stupidity at its highest. Lukewarm IQ. Very strange idea to do this. Very strange way to take it. And I have to say, it's going to be no surprise then when people don't turn up and show up then to this stuff. And you've nobody to blame but yourself. And you can't blame the fans, because the fans are right. Because the fans pay your wages. Their fans are the ones that tell you this is what you do. And what you do is you say nothing. You post a couple of pictures of the likes of your Guinness. You post a couple of pictures of the likes of your belts and all of this. Stay out of politics. You guys aren't politicians. You guys aren't intelligent enough to think that a certain side is going to pick up the bills. They won't, because the backbone of the whole thing is going to be everybody doesn't want this stuff infecting their entertainment. You and Hollywood and various other streaming services and TV services have been told this for the last number of years, and then you're going to act all surprised when people are like not turning up. What do you expect? They don't want to know this. This is why they go to entertainment. They don't go to entertainment to have these messages shoved at them. No interest. Post the pictures of Guinness. Get this down. Get rid of it. Now, we will say one thing. I do like people that stand by their convictions, and if this is the type of stupid nonsense that you want to post, stand by it, dude. Absolutely. But don't expect me to turn up and pay for a ticket. Don't expect me to purchase any of your merchandise, because that's just going to be the way I'm going to do things now. Wallet closed for this one. Anyway, I'm going to leave the video there. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, check out the links below. Drop a comment below. What do you think about this? Do you think that Jason Momoa is very much so wrong in what he's doing here? Do you think that actresses should stick to their craft and shouldn't make statements like this that are going to be inflammatory, incendiary and utterly stupid in itself? And do you think then if people hold opinions, should they keep them to themselves, particularly whether they were in this industry? We've already seen one Justice League member being cast off and cast away. There's another pun, I suppose. It'd be very easy for them to do the same here. I mean, if I was Warner Brothers, if I was AT&T, I'd be weighing up the options and I'd be looking at it and going, you've just told over 70 million people where to go, and probably an awful lot more people, millions of people were in the world. Your leading lady in that movie is also causing an awful lot of problems. An awful lot of people don't like her. There's petitions out there to get her out of her. Is it worth it going forward? That's something they're going to wave up. They've already gotten rid of your mate, Ray Fisher. They obviously deemed that Cyborg wasn't enough and decided to cut him away, and that was that. And I mean, this is a guy that supposedly has a big part in Zack Snyder's Justice League and was supposed to have a big part going forward. They said, nah, bang, gone. So I certainly think that there's going to come a time when these actors and actresses are going to realise what's what. They're going to look around and they're going to say, I probably shouldn't post that, because then I'm going to get the axe from the company. And that's probably going to be the way it is. Anyway, let me know what you think about that one. Also, what do you think about these people coming in for the unity and the healing and then behaving like this? It's quite hypocritical, wouldn't you think? Do you agree with that one? And then also, what is your personal opinion on this sort of nonsense being posted out? Do you think that the companies actually should have some sort of contract with these individuals, or that there should be some individual on their PR team and within social media and saying, listen, don't put out things like that. I mean, that's not intelligent. I mean, you want to get as many bums in seats as possible. Whatever you think, keep it to yourself and don't try to make things more inflammatory or divisive, because, like I said, they're all talking about unity and healing, and then they're ending up dividing then more in because people are fairly unhappy with this. Gonna leave the video there. Talk to you again later. Good luck.